Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Paul here. Today it's a strange one, I would say. So today I'm going to be sharing with you why is it that I actually took a decision to exit Barcelona. So I'm going to be sharing with you the top 5 reasons why you should actually consider to do that. But I'm also going to be sharing with you why you should actually consider to go to Barcelona. Okay, so I spent 5 years and a half in Barcelona, so I would say that I know the city rather well. Okay, so for those that actually consider to go to Barcelona, I'm going to be sharing the reason why you should consider to do that, but also going to be sharing at least my own reasons why you should actually consider to exit Barcelona. And this is a strange one because Barcelona is an amazing city and still is my favorite city. Okay, with that said, don't go anywhere. I'm going to be sharing that. Plus, I'm going to be sharing also what is my next, let's say, step. What is the country that I'm going to move towards, plus the city, etc. And I'm going to be sharing as well a bit why did I actually took that decision. With that said, don't go anywhere. Stick around. Let's go then into the first one. Okay, let's go into this. So starting first with the good stuff. Okay, so why should we actually consider to go to Barcelona? And this for those that actually are at the beginning of this journey, considering to move to Barcelona. Okay, so I was actually at my standing desk over there thinking on what were the reasons actually that drove me, let's say, to Barcelona. And at the end of my journey, are those reasons actually still real? Okay, so that's essentially what I'm going to be covering on this good stuff, let's say, and then let's cover the rest as we go. Okay, starting with the good stuff. Why should we actually consider to move to Barcelona? I'd say that is rather easy. Okay, why Barcelona is an amazing city. Okay, I'd say that is the city that has everything. Okay, to start from, has the beach, has the mountains, has sunshine, culture, meaning loads of good stuff. Okay, but outside of that as well, there is a lot of things that you do not see or do not see it at first, but then you feel it. Okay, so some of those things are, for instance, open-mindedness and I would say real diversity. Okay, and I'm saying this real diversity because I already lived on other countries. Okay, and I would say and cities, so I think 20 or something cities, and I would say that meaning Barcelona is without a doubt one of those places that you will feel a real diversity. Okay, so people from different backgrounds, mindset, gender, whatever. Okay, all of them meet in Barcelona. Barcelona is, without a question, really a true melting pot. Okay, so that will be my take, okay, on one of the reasons that you should really consider to go to Barcelona. Okay, then the other point that I already mentioned, but I would like just to go a bit deeper, has to do with culture, has to do with food, and has to do with architecture. Okay, meaning nothing to say about that. Meaning Barcelona is absolutely amazing, rocks all the way through. Okay, has outstanding creativity that is essentially wrapped up with an amazing architecture, even from, I would say, from the cultural perspective. If you think, okay, and sorry Spain, I'm not being a free Catalonia kind of thing, but what is true, it must be said. So on this case specifically, if you think on the most amazing artists in Spain, most of them are actually from Catalonia, okay? And some of them from Barcelona. Okay, so if you think on the biggest ones, you will see that I have a point here. So I think that really Barcelona is a mecca of culture and architecture, okay? Of art, but also of food. Okay, so it's really a melting pot of experiences, of taste, etc. Just go there. It's amazing. Okay, then there is another thing as well that I felt when I entered Barcelona, and I still feel it when I go there. Okay, that is essentially the sense that you belong there. It cannot really be explained. Okay, you need to go and you need to feel it. Okay, I remember that the first time that I went to Barcelona, like I would say 2-3 hours after, 4 max, I was already feeling at home. I was just in the middle of Champs and Gracia, and I was just going around and feeling that I already met these people, already know these places. It's like very, very bizarre. It was one of the few places on earth where I felt this. And this, of course, from a lens of someone that lived in different countries and cities, etc. Okay? But yeah, without a question. Then, of course, sun. Okay, who does not like sun? Okay, it's like 300 days of sun. Okay, it's really amazing. Okay, then the other thing that I would say is loads, and I know that we are going through this really bizarre and at the same time exciting point of the global experience that is the different countries and politics and etc. But for me, meaning the fact that Barcelona has so many foreigners, expats, it's really an amazing thing. Okay, if you are open to learn from others, if you are open to understand how do others think, I'd say that is an amazing place to be. Okay, for me, from my point of view, it's amazing. Okay, then I'd say last but not least, at the very beginning, there was something that I was feeling, this kind of, as I mentioned, kind of already know this place before. But then throughout my years in Barcelona, I started to understand why I actually feeling that. I would say that Barcelona is a city with a human scale. Okay, you have people from the pueblo, entre comillas, you know. It's people, you go to Gracia and you see people from, I don't know, 80 years old, 90 years old, people that were living there for, I don't know, so long ago, with mixed up with hippies and whatever, okay? And this gives that humanity that the city has. At the same time, because of the scale, it's not a huge city, okay? It's a city with a good size, okay? You can just go and reach everything, let's say, on a walkable distance. Okay, and I think that's a good point because you can just reach out from one end to the other, at least mid way of the city, just walking, and you walk a lot in Barcelona. Okay, with that said, I'm wrapping this part. Then let's go to the tough decision that is to leave Barcelona and why. Okay, stick around. Okay, so let's go into the nitty-gritty of stuff. Okay, so what are the showstoppers if you are actually considered to moving away from Barcelona, or on the flip side, you are actually looking to go to Barcelona, but you also want to have an outlook of why is it that you should consider to leave. Okay, so those are my 5 top reasons why I took the decision to leave Barcelona. Okay. A lot had to do as well with the coronavirus and everything that happened during that time that made me think, okay, I need to go to a place where I can breathe, okay? And this is something that is important because this is one of the points that I will call out, okay? So Barcelona has a high level of pollution, okay? I know that many cities do struggle with air pollution caused by this massive urban transports and everything around that, and Barcelona is unfortunately no exception. Okay, there are a few places that are better than others, like for instance I mentioned Gracia, and Gracia is great because you have this huge manzana. Okay, so you need to go there to understand what is this about, but essentially it's a block, okay, on this case 2 blocks that have the Gran Via in the middle, and then they just cut traffic, okay, during the weekend just to breathe out, okay, which is good, but nevertheless has loads of pollution, okay, which for me is a bit of a difficult thing, okay. I love open air kind of things, okay. So the other point that is really difficult not to consider is the cost of living, okay, and why? So the cost of living, I would say that is quite substantial, okay. You have good schools, okay, but I would say if you want to go really to good schools where you don't have such, let's say, such a Catalan pressure on top in terms of learning the language and all of that, I would say that you should really definitely consider to go to private schools. If you are someone that is really happy and comfortable like I was to be part of the folks there, let's say, you should go to a public school or eventually to a concertada. Okay, why am I saying all of this? Because that is a big part of the money that you're going to be spending. Outside of that, I would say that, for instance, a family of four, like for instance on our case, you should expect to spend roughly around 2,800 and roughly 2,800, 2,880 euros a month. Okay, this without meaning loads of grants, meaning expenses and things like that. So it is expensive. So you need to be mindful of that. Okay. Then the other point that I would say that is really important for you to take into account is housing. Okay. There are 2 points that you need to consider when thinking or talking about housing in Barcelona. First and foremost, it's difficult to find one that is available. Okay, a flat. Okay, rather a house, it's like impossible. But nevertheless, it's difficult for you to find a flat, and it's difficult to find a flat that has good and proper conditions. Okay, if you want to have one, you need to pay. Okay, so this is something that I felt it. Okay, so meaning if you want to go for a good flat that has like 3 bedrooms or even 4 bedrooms, is in a decent part of the city, I would say that you need to think always on a minimum of around 1,500, 1,400 euros, okay, a month. Okay, and this is the starting point. Okay. Myself, I remember when I entered there, I came from the UK, and I was expecting to go really crashing, let's say, in terms of the house prices. That did not happen. It was rather a soft landing, of actually on the opposite. Okay, I remember that I was paying around £1,300 a month for my place in the UK, and then I went to pay roughly almost 1,600 and something a month, plus the garage, roughly around 1,700 and something a month. Okay, which is expensive, at least from my point of view. Okay, so I would say my advice would be that you need to consider, if you're going to go there for an apartment, think on roughly around 1,500. Okay, give or take. 3 bedroom, 4 bedrooms, around that. Okay, you can, if you go for 4, it's going to be more expensive for sure, but think on that. Then if you're going to go for a studio, something smaller, roughly around 1,000. Okay, and then the room, I would say that you're not going to be spending less than 600 a month. Okay, so that's what you need to take into consideration. Okay, and that was one of the things that really was killing me, in the sense of the amount of money that I was spending a month just to keep myself there. So that is part of the reason why I took a decision to leave, because I bought a place. Okay, so outside of that, and this is another thing, has to do with how to transform your income. If you missed my video on that one, just click on the link. I think it's a positive one. Feel free to check and drop me any questions that you may have. So the other thing that can be a bit of a problem, okay, that goes into my top 5, has to do with education and language. Okay, so what do I mean by this? I was getting more and more annoyed up to a certain point with a bit of the polarization that exists without and with Catalan and the rest of Spain and etc. I'm not in favor nor against, meaning the independence of Catalonia. I do understand both sides. I do love Catalan, the language, okay, but this is like a bit of a strange one, in the sense that if you go to a public school, most likely you're going to have a huge impact of Catalan. That means that most likely your kids are going to be spending a lot of time learning Catalan and not sufficient time, in my perspective, learning Spanish. That is, guys, is one of the top 5 more spoken languages in the globe. Okay, you should be spending time on that. And that is one of the things that I felt that was not helping my children, okay, and made me think that or I would go to a concertada or to a private, or eventually just move countries as well. And so that was one of the things that had a toll, let's say, on that. Okay, so my advice would be, if you are comfortable with being Catalan, okay, just enroll your kid on a public school, if you are not comfortable with that, I would say that you should really consider going to a private or to a concertada. That is a kind of a semi-private school. Just go and check what are the options. Okay. Then, last but not least, okay, another point that you should consider while leaving Spain is the average salary. Okay, meaning it was not one of the reasons why I left per se, but it's one of the things that you really need to consider, because the average salary is roughly around 27,000 euros. Okay, so a year. Okay. It's not massive, okay? Even more if you're gonna live in Barcelona and you have a cost, if you are a family of four, of 2,800, 2,500 euros a month, it can be heavy, okay? What is the solution for this? There are a few industries, okay? Luckily, I was on one of those industries that you should really look at, because that's where you're gonna be earning more money. So essentially, fashion, okay? Things related to fashion, tech, technology for sure. Barcelona is a hub, and then everything that is related to construction, sustainability, and things like that. Those are the jobs or the areas, the industries where you can get, sorry, or potentially can get a higher salary. Okay, so with that said, I'm wrapping this up. Hopefully this was an interesting session. If you have any other questions around Barcelona, how is it to live there, what is needed, just let me know. Happy to help you out. Okay. There is one important thing I almost forgot. When I was talking about the housing, there's one important thing. If you're looking to move to Barcelona, you need to consider that you need to pay 10% upfront, okay, of the annual value of the house. Okay. So that will not be reimbursed. So it's just like putting money into the bin. Okay, you need to use that money to pay, meaning the agency, which I would strongly advise for you to have one. Then the other point is that you need to have between, it will depend, 3, 4, 5 rents in advance. Okay, so if you're going to be paying 1,500, you need to think that on top of that you need to pay 5 times or 4 times that amount, plus 10% of that, the yearly cost of the house, okay? That to get into the place, outside of the fact that it's really difficult to find one, okay? So yeah, those are some of the reasons why it made me think actually to leave. Just drop me some of the reasons why you are considered to go to Barcelona, or vice versa, and why is it that you are even considered to leave. To close, where is it that I'm heading towards? So I'm heading towards Portugal. With that said, bless you, okay? I will talk to you later on why is it that I explicitly chosen Portugal, okay? The reasons for that, and I will give you all of that on my next video. Okay, with that said, hopefully this was a good one. Just subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and join me on this journey. Take care, guys. Cheers, peace, bye-bye. So this is it. So leaving Barcelona to go for my new country then. Okay. So I'm just at the airport now. So loads of sunlight, of course. You cannot see much, but that's it. Okay. So see you on the other side. Okay. Take care. Cheers. Bye. Welcome to my channel, Paul here. So I just went across the bridge. So 176-meter high was the highest point where I stood. So the bridge has around 516 meters long. Okay, it takes roughly 15 minutes to cross. Okay, so just a perfect way to say hi to Portugal. Okay, take care. Cheers. Bye. Bye. Who's there? Come along. Come in. Hi. How are you? So welcome to my new place. So this is my new place. So we decided to leave Barcelona. I'm not sure if you are aware of that. If not, just click there. I'm going to drop it somewhere there, where you can actually check why did we actually left Barcelona, Spain, and you can also